Hello, my good and gorgeous people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy, glad, and excited to be back here. It's Ratez Jackie, for those who are new to this place. And this is Looking at Life with Ratez. In case you're coming for the first time, you're so much welcome. This is a wonderful place, and you came in at the best time. So, I did remember to like and subscribe. And for those who are coming back again and again, thank you so much. I really appreciate for you always coming back to check what Ratez has. And today is on a Thursday. And Thursday is always a day of returning it back to the damn days, having some throwbacks and story time. I told you that Thursdays will always be a fun moment because it will always be a time of story time and story time to at least get to interact and know about my life and also get to appreciate where I've come from. At times we sit and we like think that things just happened, but it took the hand of God. It took maybe the grace of God, the efforts of our parents, and even the community and the society. We say for a child to grow, it takes a society and a community. So it's always good to look back and like get to know where you came from. And today, I would like to base much of my stories about my school life. And the part of school life that I want to touch in is maybe what was my interaction with teachers in school. And maybe the teachers who like made my education easy, the teachers who made my education hard, because at times teachers can mess with you. And maybe the fun times that I had with teachers. And maybe at times we always forget to remember the teachers who like build our foundation. This is our Sunday school teachers. And to start it all, I would like to appreciate my Sunday school teacher. And amongst maybe teachers who touched on my Sunday school, the one who stood out was Madam Aris Kemaru. For anyone who happened to grow up or maybe who happened to fellowship in ACK Kahara Church as a kid, they can tell that that was a wonderful teacher. And this is a teacher who stood out for so many years as a Sunday school teacher. She is a woman who sacrificed the entire of her youth, even not youth, because actually I think she has been in that church for quite some time, and as a Sunday school teacher. And it's a wonderful thing because most of the times we forget how critical it is at times to handle children. Have you ever gotten to stay with kids for a day, maybe 2 or 3? The kind of shouting you do. Every time, stop this, don't do this. Handling kids is not easy. I usually salute the nursery school teachers, those kindergarten teachers, and Sunday school teachers because it's a job well done. So I really appreciate Madam Aris for the good job that she did. Life with her was very easy because she really knew what to do with kids. One thing is because she's a trained ECDE teacher. So it was easy to handle kids in on Sunday school because maybe that is what she does from Monday to Friday. So that was a wonderful teacher who molded us. And I think even those people who have gotten to grow up in that church, we need to ever plan like something and go and surprise that woman. She did quite a good job. Because one thing, she has taught Sunday school people who are born in the 80s. There are people who are born in the 80s she has taught in Sunday school, people born in the 90s, and even people born in the 2000s. So you can imagine 3 decades teaching Sunday school. It is quite a sacrifice to that woman because our firstborn was taught Sunday school by her, and our lastborn was also taught Sunday school by her. You can get to imagine it was a whole sacrifice. And Sunday school teachers, they are never paid. This is other than other ministries in church, I think this is the ministry that at times requires a lot of grace. And I really appreciate that woman. She used to take us to maybe those Sunday school, how do we call it, competitions in brigades. She was very intentional in ensuring that you were very disciplined. In case you are not disciplined, she could approach your parent, your mom, and she's like, nowadays, I see your daughter, your son is not acting in a certain way. If at all your mom gives you offering and you fails to get to offer, she'll get to know and she'll go and ask your parent, a certain Sunday, did you give your child or did you give your daughter's offering? Why? Because I observed so and so didn't give an offering. So it was so awesome. And then me give her flowers when she's still alive. Madam Alice Kemaro, you did it well, and may God always bless you for the good job you did in training us and in ensuring that we were grounded spiritual wise when we were young. And maybe to go to my primary school, I may not remember much of my younger ages and my relation with teachers, maybe when I was young, from maybe nursery all the way maybe to class 3 there. But the part that I remember quite well is beginning of class 4. This is when you get to realize, I like this teacher, I don't like this teacher. I think this teacher hates me, this teacher does not like me. And maybe from there, it's when I started having sides with teachers and such like. And I happened to have this teacher who always stood out in my primary school, who happens to be my class teacher from class 4 all the way to class 8. And too bad that he left us. May you rest in peace, Mr. Buzia. And anyone who was in my school, Nuhukanyingi Academy, they can get to bear with me that teacher, he was one of a kind. And for my classmates, class of 2009, they can attest to this. This was a teacher who, at times, you could never tell what is expected of him. He could maybe appear in the class out of nowhere, and he's like, everyone stand up. You get to stand up, and he tells you to lift your hands up. Do you know what was checking? He wants to check whether your sweaters are torn. In case your sweater is torn, you deserve a punishment. At times he just come and he tells you, open your lockers and your hands up. Do you know what he wants to check? He wants to check whether you have arranged your books properly in the locker. If you haven't, that deserves for punishment. In our class, there was a rule. When you come in the morning, you should remove all your books from the bag and put your bags behind. So he would come in class, everyone stand up, come in front. In case your bag is behind your chair, it's not at the back where the bags are usually put, that deserves for punishment. He really ensured that his class was disciplined. That is one thing that I respect him for. Another thing, hey, he was our class teacher and he was a mathematics teacher. Do you know what it means when a class teacher is your mathematics teacher? Because one thing, the class teacher is responsible for PE classes. So you can imagine the PE classes we missed so that we can have mathematics. Hey, I don't know what is usually wrong with mathematics teachers. They always think that every free time should be a mathematics time. So you have to love mathematics, if either you like it or not. And he was, especially for me, I don't know, he was very tough on me. He was like, you have to do it with mathematics. You know, I was a performer in mathematics. That is very true. Because that's why at times we even had good relation with him. Because he was very tough on me to ensure that I get my best of grades. At times, I could, in primary school, we used to maybe do percentage out of 100. Maybe you get 94%. So that means you failed on four questions. He's so like insisting. Why did you fail on this and this question? He can punish you for failing in a question. You have 96%. You just failed on four questions, and there's this particular question he is insisting. Why did you fail on this question? You're not supposed to fail, and he'll punish you for that. And it's good that he was strict. And at least he made us love mathematics. Like personally, I was able to get an A by the time I was finishing my class 8. And at times we crossed paths because he was like, you have to be disciplined. There are some of the teachers who used to compare me mostly with my sisters because we were in the same school. She was like, you have to be disciplined like your sisters. I don't know why. You have a sister in class 3, you have a sister, and they are more disciplined than you are. And for him, he wasn't that much harsh, but at least he was very much into discipline. And a good thing is that anytime I performed well in mathematics, he used to appreciate me. I remember there's a certain time he even came to class. I was the best in mathematics, a girl, and there was another boy who was now the best in mathematics. His name was Martin. And I remember this day, he just took us, akatuambia, he wants to take us just for a tour. We got into a matatu, we went to Kireine. Our school is quite a distance from Kireine, so we had to take a matatu. We went, spent the entire day. We went, he bought us lunch, we went around the market, we went around the entire town. He bought us anything that you needed that day. If you want a fruit, if you want a drink, he was just a day of treating us. Why? Because we have performed well in mathematics. You see, at times they are good teachers, and it's always good to appreciate good teachers. And that was something that was so nice. You know, as a kid, you're like, this person is not your dad. This person is not your uncle. It's your teacher. And you know, at times, especially if you happen to study in a private school, you can get to know how teachers were harsh. We were punished. Teachers in private school didn't joke. Hey, tulikuwa tunachapwa proper. So having such a time with a teacher, you know, you go in, you giving stories, you having like just a time of like, it's like a father and a daughter, a father and a son, because you were me, that boy, and now the teacher. It was just a wonderful day. And among my all other days in primary school, that is a day that I can never forget. Because seeing a teacher appreciate you for good work. Now that is Mr. Buthier. Hats to him. And another teacher who gave me my nightmares in primary school was a certain lady by the name Madam Dorcas. Anyone who happened to be in Hukanyingi can attest. Madam Dorcas was a no-nonsense woman. One thing with this woman, she was a classy woman. And she had these strong perfumes. You could get to sense her even by the distance. You know, by the time our classes were on a low, when she's at around class 2, the farthest class I think was class 3. When she's at class 3 and you're in class 5, you just get to know that she's coming. Well, that's ready. She was more fire. And she had this commanding voice. This voice that she used to speak, especially when you're in the long and you start trembling. You've not been punished, but you're always trembling. Hey, that woman gave us sleepless nights. And actually, we used to fellowship in the same church. I could see her, we are in church, and I'm already trembling. It's not school time. I've not done anything wrong. But I'm already trembling. Get it to imagine? And remember there's this time, I don't know, she used to live neighboring. Her, I don't know, I think it's her auntie or her aunt used to live in her auntie's place, who was like the main moms and dads in our church. So we used to visit that home severally. So there's this one time, I didn't know she's around. Me with my sister and other two girls, we were just like, let's go and visit Shosho's home. She's like our grandma because she has brought up in church, now the auntie to this teacher. Now we went to her place. It's on a Sunday. We went and we were given food. Do you know I was not able to eat that food? I tried to eat, and the food, you feel you're eating, but you are swallowing, but this food is not coming to an end just because of her presence. Me, I used to fear that woman. Oh my God. What? I used to fear her. For last, I think she taught me CRE. I don't know with other. I think she used to teach us CRE. And I don't know which other subject. But that happened when we were in the upper classes. That is, I think, class 6, 7, and 8. We used to have teachers who used to guide us in composition and initials. So teachers were subdivided. Maybe you have a group of 5 people in every class who you guide them in writing composition and initials. Composition was something that was really emphasized in our school. So you had to be good in it. So there were extra hours. Other than the English and Kiswahili teacher, there were extra teachers who you were being given to be giving you extra composition every weekend, to be tutoring you and such like. Now, hey, I don't know what was wrong with my English teacher. My English teacher then was Mr. Robert, who was the deputy head teacher then. I don't know why, Teacher Robert, you hated me this much. To a point, you had to give me Teacher Dorcas as my composition teacher. Oh my. Now this one killed me completely. The moment we were subdivided and we were told that Teacher Dorcas would be my composition teacher, well, I felt like my world has crashed. Of all the other teachers, they had to give me that. It was never easy. Every time you would write a composition during the weekend, it was marked on Monday. By Monday evening, the books are returned. And she has written, see me or see the teacher. Oh, you are like, no, who am I seeing? Not me again seeing this teacher. There's nothing that we hated in our primary school than seeing that word. See me or see the teacher. Because that means you have to go to the staff room. Well, you know, it's good to be punished in class, but it was the worst thing to be punished in the staff room. Because even the other teachers who you have not done anything wrong, they will remember something you did in their lessons. And they are like, yes, even you should add. You should. My life was not easy. Yes, I did well in composition because you couldn't have afforded to do poorly in composition. Teacher Dorcas being your composition teacher. She made me perfect in it because one thing with her, she would call you and address you. Even she doesn't mind whether it's it's in the presence of other teachers, but she will like collect you. You know, you should not have done this. You should do this. You know, she will guide you. But why call me when no other teachers are there? Why not call me at least in your secluded place alone? Because that thing used to, you cannot even listen to whatever she is saying because you're like, every teacher is just looking at you. And life was not easy with that woman. Not that I hated her, but I just feared her. Her aura, her voice, her everything, but there are these teachers who just know what they want. During her duty time, I don't think you could ever have come late. Those are the times you have to wake up early. You won't wait for your mom to wake you up. You have to wake up early. When you remember who is in duty. Those times we were walking to school, and maybe if you happen to like see her on the road, learn and ensure that she doesn't get to class before you, or she doesn't get to school before you. Hey, that woman messed our lives, guy. Well, hey, life was not easy. But either way, it's a teacher that I will, even if whatever ever comes, that is a woman that I will never forget in this life. When primary teachers are mentioned, those are two teachers that always come to my mind because they made my primary school good, because in one or another, memories are there to be remembered. So those ones, like, they take it all when it comes to my primary school. They are teachers that I will live to remember. And maybe let's get to high school. Teachers in high school. Let me start with the teacher who made my life in high school the best. And I don't know why most of these favorite teachers happen to be mathematics teachers. There's this teacher by the name Mr. Mwangi. Mr. Mwangi happens to be my best teacher in high school. Reason why: Mr. Mwangi was a mathematics teacher, but he never taught me in mathematics. But he was the best mathematics teacher. And he ever realized that I have an interest of doing well in mathematics. It's only that I have challenges because the teachers who are teaching me, they are not that white. There's a woman who used to teach us mathematics, especially from 3 and from 4. At times when we meet with those girls we studied with in high school, we even say that there's no way you could have passed mathematics, that teacher being your teacher. That woman was just a funny one. She would come and start giving you stories, and it's mathematics time. How do a mathematics teacher even get time to give stories? Mathematics should always be given teachers who are serious. And this woman was so relaxed. I don't think there's any time that she ever finalized her syllabus. And she was just on her own world. I think now this Mr. Mwangi realized that I have to support this girl because she's really interested in mathematics. So other than now outside class, we used to have sessions where he gets to teach me on maybe certain topics that I'm not doing so well, and he really ensured that I did well in mathematics. Let me tell you that mathematics in high school happened to be my challenge. In Form 1 and Form 2, I was really doing bad in mathematics. And I was asking myself, and how I know very well I was a performer in mathematics in primary school, what changed? And after now getting to know, the issue is the teacher looking for now Mr. Mwangi, who really did well in perfecting my mathematics. He used to give me books, help me in telling me, devising these topics. These are the most asked questions in maybe KCSE. And by the time I was finalizing my Form 4, trust you me, I got a straight A in mathematics in my KCSE. Efforts and the flowers, I give them to Mr. Mwangi because he did his very best. He ensured that I performed very well. There's no mathematics contest I ever missed. Either I'm a good performer or I'm not. He ensured that I'm there to go and interact with other people and get to know how can you perform well in mathematics. I'm telling you, if you see my report cards in Form 1 and in Form 2, I used to get D+. When I've really tried, was a C-. And by the time I was in Form 3 and Form 4, I was the best student in mathematics, getting A's. I don't remember any time I even got a B+. It's either an A or an A-. That was my Form 3 and Form 4. And regards to Mr. Mwangi, thank you so much for making my life so easy, because I used to feel bad seeing myself perform so poorly in mathematics, getting to know the foundation that Mr. Budhia back in primary school had given me. I used to feel so bad, but at least I performed so well in mathematics. And another teacher who stood out in my secondary school is my home science teacher. Her name was, I don't remember clearly her name, but it was my home science teacher. She came to our school when we were in Form 2 or Form 3? Because Form 1 we started with another teacher who happened to have left. And now we got this new teacher, and we really got along. And By the time we were choosing subject, I was like, I don't think I need to do another subject. Home science have to be, because we were choosing between home science and business studies. Yes, I loved business studies, but at least the interest and the love I had for home science things of cooking, of tailoring, of at times having house chores and such like, it really made me feel, I need to do this subject. Now having that we had a good teacher, that teacher was awesome. She came and she turned around home science in our school, a subject that was never valued. It now became one of the best subjects, and we got along a lot. We used to, she used to give me stories. We would go to the lab, the home science lab, and just stay there, have those talks from elsewhere. She gives me stories about her children. She gives me stories about her husband. She gives me stories about life. And I used to feel like I had a mom in high school because we used to talk. She would bring me even things from home. Maybe I've missed something, and she was like, when I prepare it over the weekend, I'll come with it. I'll bring it to you. And she used to make my life in high school so easy. So we used to talk a lot. At times, when I'm free and she's around, you either find me in the lab, us just giving stories, nothing else. At times, even revising, because she made me love home science. And it made my life so easy when it came to that subject. It had a lot of practicals, and she used to like tell me it's very easy to get an A in home science, and I'll ensure you get it. And true to it, I got an A in home science, not just an A minus, but a plain A in home science. And it's because of the teacher. I always say that if you get along with a certain teacher, you'll surely do very well in that subject. That I can affirm. So, my home science teacher, I give you your flowers. You made my high school life so easy. Because one thing, I had the keys to the home science lab. So anytime I felt that the classroom is becoming so noisy, I could just go open the home science lab and just do my studies there. It had become like part of my library, because I'll just open there, go and lock myself inside, and just be there. She even knew anytime that she wants to find me, anytime she sees that lights are on in the home science lab, it's me who is there. And life was so easy with her. So that remains to be one of the female teacher best in high school. And the teacher who made my life hard in high school, not really. And I also appreciate the lab technician at Weku Girls. By then, his name was Mr. Laban, if I'm not wrong. This is another gentleman who made chemistry for me very easy. Reason being, when it got to a point, I think in Form 3, there was a lot of titration. I don't what. Used to like on certain days, maybe in the evenings after classes, he's like, I'll set up a certain experiment for you. You'll come, do. He'll set up the question and the everything. So I'll go. We used to go and we are two ladies. This lady was by the name Maureen. Maureen can attest to this. There are specific days we used to have experiment set. So after class, we just pick our books, we go do the questions, do those calculations of titration and all that, and then leave for marking. He'll call us when he has finalized the marking and all that. He was like guiding us and telling us this, and this. So other than the class work, we had side classes of chemistry and such like. And sure to it, we also performed good in chemistry. I got a B+ in chemistry. So I'm like, if you student, or maybe if you have a daughter or a son you're bringing up, encourage them to have good relation with their teachers. This is something that works. If at all I had good relation with all my teachers, I think maybe I could have gotten an A. But at least, now that was my chemistry tutor, other than my class teacher. Another teacher who stood out, there's this teacher there will always be a teacher who stood out in all aspects. There's this teacher by the name Miss Pauline. Miss Pauline was a teacher that I loved. And the reason why I loved her, not because I used to enjoy her classes. She used to teach English. I don't think I really loved English. One thing with Miss Pauline, she just had an aura of, she was just these decent women, these classy women. She used to have a beautiful hair. She had a long hair, then she had relaxed it. It had some curls. So anytime she came to class, my concentration was the outfit, how she is smartly dressed, the kind of shoes she's wearing, her hair. I used to really admire her. So I think I used not to concentrate in class. Reason being, I'm just like trying to imagine when I become of her age, will I be able to be this classy like she is? I really used to admire her. And she was strict. Oh my God. Ooh, that woman was strict. Especially in set books. But at times, strict teachers are good. It's only at times they are never friendly to everyone. If at all you are not aligning to whatever she is teaching, it wasn't easy. And I don't think English was one of my best subjects. But I used to miss English classes. I come and see my class, man, this lady. And one thing that stood out with this lady, I don't know whether there's anyone who ever noticed. She used to have many handkerchiefs. And every time she's coming for class, she would come with a handkerchief. She used to place a handkerchief inside her books. So I don't think I don't know whether there's anyone who ever noticed, because me, I used to notice, and I used to ensure I get to see the handkerchief she has, because she has to have it, and she will be like extending from the entire book. Anytime she came in class, she had a handkerchief. And obviously it's a clean handkerchief. However, yani, I used to admire this woman. She was very organized and and she happened that she was living in the school environs. These teachers who are living in the teachers' quarter. So I used to see her even in the weekends, on Sundays when she's going to church. And I really used to admire this teacher. I really used to admire this teacher. She was just a woman who would encourage me to become classy when I grow up. And even now, she's still classy. Yes, she has added some years, because quite some years since we left high school. But the last time I went there to get girls, looked at her, she still maintains her aura. And Miss Pauline, we used to call her Portia. You see, even the nickname she was given, Portia, because she was just a woman of her class. Miss Pauline, wow, awesome. And any other teacher I remember in high school who stood out is Mr. Ngumi. Yeah. How could I forget Mr. Ngumi? The reason why Mr. Ngumi stood out, when we went to high school, he happened to be our first chemistry teacher. The teacher who teaches you what is chemistry and all that. And Mr. Ngumi is this teacher who had an accent. I think, and he never used books even to give you notes. I don't know whether he has studied chemistry and chemistry was just coming out of his head. Mr. Gumi would start teaching. I remember the first class he came and he started teaching and writing on the board, even his handwriting, and he is not referring from somewhere. We even started laughing as students in class, because we were like, Allah, na yeye mwalimu ni wapi? Why is he just speaking things out of his mind? And he had an accent. You at times hear him begin the sentence, in between you not get to know what he has talked about, and just get the last part. He made at times chemistry lessons interesting, but at times you could never just understand whatever he's saying. You had to go back to books and get to study and get to know what was happening, because unless he writes on the board, I tell you, not get to hear what he's saying, Mr. Gumi. But he was a good teacher, he was a funny teacher, he was a friendly teacher, and those are some of the teachers that I miss until now. Good teachers who made high school life easy. So those are teachers that at times I get to remember, and their memories get to make those times fun. And maybe let's go to campus. I had a privilege in campus because I was the class representative, and that means I had an opportunity of interacting with each and every other lecturer who got to teach us. So I had interaction with various lecturers, some which was good, some which was not so much appealing, because lecturers have this tendency of, maybe you are a lady, they start approaching you, they start be those funny things. In campus, those are things that I expected. And I can say in campus, teachers who stood out, first and foremost, is Madame Clara Langat. This was our French teacher. She's my friend up to date. And one thing I loved about this woman, French was not easy. And she knew very well that teaching a grown-up a new language is not easy. But she used to take it easy for us. She is so articulate in French. She speaks it like she's speaking her mother tongue. And that woman really, she used to inspire me, how she's doing French so well. And we became friends since those days of campus. And even now, she's still a lecturer in that university, because I get to talk with her. She's still teaching French and still doing it so well. One thing that I loved about her is that she was thorough with us. She was not so hard on us. She tried to ensure that at least we may not grasp everything, but at least we can be able to get a good grade in our French. So life with her was easy, and I even remember her up to date. Another lecturer that maybe stood out in my campus life was Mr. George. He was this soft-spoken teachers. He doesn't speak a lot, but he's a scholar. Those people who they have done masters, they have done PhD, but you cannot realize they're just so cool. Now, because some of these lecturers, I used to interact with them personally. Because one thing, you have to share their numbers. You must get to know maybe when some of these other things are happening in their life. For him, we got to interact. I remember even after I graduated, he was like, Leah, I really want you to master your, I really want you to do masters. And he had even organized on how I'll do masters in Moi University. He had even organized on how I can do my masters when I'm still in Nairobi, because I was like, I don't think it's easy for me to come there and study. And he was like, the lecturer also in Moi University. He had ensured that I get to study when I'm here. I'll just be going to Moi to do my exams. And I'm sorry, Mr. George, I let you down. It's only that I felt, hey, masters, I'm not ready. But at least he was a good teacher. At least other than just the class work, there are other things you used to share. The other things you like get to talk about, hey, how is hospitality? How do you see this field and such? Like we used to like talk. And it's good when other than the class work, you have someone who has been before you and is like trying to like tell you, try this when you get out of campus, do this, you can try this, you can venture in this. And relation with him was so easy. It's a lecturer who we got to start with from the first year and up to the fourth year. We were just okay. We were just friends. You can imagine a male teacher who he was a male lecturer and we had respect with each other. We related so well. You would think you would think we know each other even from the past, but it was just the correlation of a lecturer and a student, and life was so easy with him. Another lecturer that I remember is Mr. Gitaka. Mr. Gitaka was also a scholar in economics. He was in the School of Economics and he used to teach us various courses, especially economics and such like. And he was a good lecturer. We got to interact. And even after campus, is someone who we have gotten to interact more and more. He was someone he has done so well until he has also done his master's and his PhD. There are those people who the university even gives them a chance to like have subsidized prizes in their masters, because he was just a good lecturer, serious in whatever he does, and I loved him for that. Another lecturer who I can say that stood out, there was also a lady woman who really taught us in most of the courses from first year up to fourth year. Do I remember her name? I don't quite remember her name, but she's also a woman that I would give her flowers, because even I remember she's the woman who came to she's the woman who did my assessment, both in my attachment and in my internship. And maybe especially in my internship, I really had struggles in getting a place where I could have my internship. And even she had assessed all other people, and she was like, Leah, you've not yet started your assessment, and I've actually finalized assessing all other people. Immediately, I told her that I've gotten a spot. She came like the following week. Came and like wrote, like she came, assessed me. Actually, even there's nothing that even the place I was working they could have told about me, because I was just there for a week. But to ensure that I've gotten my grades of internship, she had to come and like tick those things and just write recommendation and such like, and just affirm that I went for internship. And I was really happy for that course. If it was maybe another lecturer, she could be like, no, you've just been here for a week, there's no way we can maybe give you marks and such like. But she was fair enough. It's a woman that I also loved, and she happened that we did so many courses together. We went for many trips with her, and we related so well. I told you that I was a class rep, so most of these lecturers, we used to relate with them so well. And being a class rep made my campus life so easy, because at times you talk with the lecturers directly. You know when classes are missing, when classes are bouncing, you know when the lecturer is present, you know when you're having your next cut. Because you have the first communication with the lecturer. At times you are not in school and you like inform the lecturer, do you know what, I happen to be out of school, this and this happened, and the lecturer is like, I think we can postpone our class to next week. Just because the class rep is not allowed school, that deserves the class not to happen. Reason being, at times you as the class rep, you need to go and look for a venue for where your class will be happening. Because at times the venue which is indicated in the timetable, you go there and there's another class that is there. Because at times the lecturers changed their classes, the class rep changed their class schedules. So at times as a class rep, you had to correlate with the lecturer to ensure that the class is running. So at times when you're not there as the class rep, the high chances of class bouncing was also high. So my interaction with the lecturers was so easy. and it also may be added to some point on my grades in campus. Reason being, I had to attend each and every other class, because missing class as a class rep was not that easy, because before the lecturer comes to class, he has to call you. Where are you? You are maybe in which lecture room and such like. So you have to be in that class. Another thing, there's this class attendance sheet. You used to go with it home. So you have to come with it so that the people who are in attendance, they can get to tick or maybe they can get to sign their papers. So you have to be in class so that you bring the class sheet so that the other people can sign. And another thing, because of that nature of you being a class rep, a class rep is you are like a reader in a certain way. You don't want to be like lagging behind, or maybe you get to perform poorly and you're the class rep. Because one thing, the lecturer knows you. When he'll be marking your paper, he knows very well this is certain, she is the class rep, and missing whatever she has been doing in class. So you have to be like, you need to pull up your socks. You have to be good in each and every other course that you're doing. So at least it made me to pull up my socks and to be up to the game. Campus, people miss classes, people are not serious with academics. Me being a class rep ensured that I was so up to my books, and it helped me in how I handled my campus life. And campus was a nice place. And that's it all with the lecturers in campus. In my experience with the lecturers, I have an experience or two with male lecturers who maybe mishandled me, who maybe we didn't have good relation, because in one time or another, there was ragos and such like. That is okay. That is obvious, it happens. But at least I didn't get myself to a point that I was involved in a lecturer and maybe it got to affect my academics in that. One thing, I was a church girl in campus. So I wouldn't want to be involved with these lecturers' triangles and issues, because I didn't want to like get in. I wouldn't wish such things, because I wanted to like uphold the gospel that I preach. So I ensure that I'm very straightforward with each and every lecturer, and that is how students should be. I always tell students, don't go to campus and start having relations with lecturers. This is the worst mistake you can ever do, and it will really mess with your academics. Was one thing, you will not get to be serious with your classwork, because after all, you're like, I have connection with Mr. So and so. So take note, don't go there and start dating lecturers. Date your colleagues, students, and comrades, but don't go dating lecturers. Even if they come, turn their offers down. One thing, there's nothing they can, if they give you threats, report them to the business administration. There's nothing big that they can do. At times, people are like, maybe when I don't do as per he's saying, maybe I'll fail in my grades. Maybe, no, don't have such fears. Stand firm in what you know is right. Tell him, as far as my principles are concerned, I cannot do this, this, and this. So, respect that. He'll respect you, and you'll have a smooth time in your campus. So that was my campus life. I would not forget to like remember my supervisor in driving school. Steve. His name was Steve. Steve, he from Petans driving school. And one thing that would make me not fail to like applaud his good work is because I learned driving in a very short period, because I didn't have that flexibility of time. So I had to use the minimal time to get to perfect my driving. And one thing that he told me is, if you want to do it, you'll do it. And I was like, yes, I want. I really feared, because I was like, how will I manage? I used to see these big vehicles passing around and I start shouting. And he would tell me, where do you want to go? And there's this joke he used to make, that the windows are closed. There's nowhere you can run away to. Why are you shouting? He really made it fun, but myself, I'm trembling here, and he doesn't see any big deal. And I was like, oh my. I happened to train with a manual car. You can imagine that stress of balancing your clutch, the brakes. You are training in Nairobi roads. The reason why I'm very perfect in driving in Nairobi roads is because that's where I did my driving lessons. So in one or another, I had to be perfect. Me, there's no route I cannot use to enter Nairobi. You tell me I use Grove. You tell me I use, how do we call it? You tell me to use the OTC route, tell me to use Kirinyaga, tell me whatever. I never feared. Even when I was so new into driving, I had already perfected using the using the school car. So I really applaud him and I give him his flowers because he did it perfectly good. I really feared. And by the time I was finalizing and I was getting my DL, I was very perfect in driving. I I didn't fear actually. And after I got my car, I didn't have like, I don't know, refresher courses. I didn't have, I don't know, like I can drive with someone. I used to drive the car from home to town alone from the first day. I didn't fear. Reason being, I had been trained by the best. Steve did the very, very, very best. And by the time he was releasing me and he was like, no, go, you good drive. He even told me, when you buy a car, don't put an L. I don't want to see an L sticker on your car because you're a perfect driver. He believed in me and he showed me all it takes to be the best driver. And you flowers, receive your flowers because you did a good job. And maybe, thank you. Maybe a shout out to all teachers who sacrifice their very best to ensure that their students, their pupils are doing the very best. Teachers do quite a good job. And I usually applaud that profession. It's a profession that at times people take for granted, but it's a very profound profession which makes us who we are. Because I couldn't be here if I didn't go through all these teachers that I'm mentioning and many other more. Because I've gone through the heart of so many teachers. Some I might not remember, some were even better, but not better to me, but better to others. So I'm proud to each and every teacher. Wherever you are, shout out to each and everyone who calls him or herself a teacher. You guys are you guys are just heavenly angels. And the profession you're doing is just among the best. Because what would the world be without teachers? How? How could we ever? How could we have lawyers? How could we have doctors? How could we have any other profession that we find so profound? Any other profession that you admire? How could we have such people? Engineers. How could we have all those people if it were not for teachers? Teachers are special beings that should always be applauded. Anytime you ever get to meet your teacher, whoever taught you, whether in your young age or in your old age, remember to congratulate them. And even if you cannot just maybe even appreciate them with something, appreciate them with a word of mouth. Because teachers are special beings and they just come into our lives to just beautify it and make us who we are. Because other than even the academics, they play a lot in like bringing up the social arts. They teach us a lot. I'm one person who live to respect and to love teachers. A proud Makofi. And until next time, bye bye. Love you.